Okay, welcome to Nowgamer's analysis of FIFA versus PES. I'm Tom Hopkins, news editor on Nowgamer, and I'm joined by Gav McKenzie, games editor on Play Magazine.
That's me.
Thanks for joining me, Gav.
It's always a pleasure.
So you've had a little bit of a play on both these games, haven't you? I've played them a bit more. We're looking at FIFA now. I've played as Man United versus Barcelona. Sorry, trying to keep up with the game. I'm playing as Man United. What has anything sort of struck you particularly about the new FIFA Tour, Gav?
The new FIFA, it just seems a little bit. I found FIFA 10 it could get a little bit clumsy. They'd sort of added the full 360 control and made a lot of changes to the way players kind of.
You see what I did there, by the way?
Yeah,
I just managed to shank it straight out for a goal kick.
Rubbish.
Basically, I put that down to the new passing system, which they've tried to kind of give them far more control in terms of direction. And that also means that if you hold the wrong direction at the point of pressing the button, things like that happen.
Should that not just been a cross though? Does it? Oh, look at that! That was a nice.
Well, back in the old days, thank you. Yeah, there's a little square pass there. It worked out there, but back in the old days, you would have sort of triple tapped cross button, and it would have gone in, or double tapped. It would have gone straight in, but there I sort of obviously managed to get it a bit wrong.
I have found that you do when you're playing the short passing game, if you just tap the pass button, it doesn't go very far. It's not. You actually need to set the power on short passes, which is taking some getting used to. I'm not sure.
No, I totally agree. If you hold,
I'm not sure whether the thing is in PES, you tap it as light as possible, and they absolutely hoof it.
Fire it exactly.
It's better than that at least.
Well, I think that is one of the big things that people are adjusting to is the passing system. You can hold the button down full power, tap it very, very lightly,
right?
And it sort of risks almost not getting to your player who might be quite close. So FIFA, I think.
But I think they're probably addressing that problem of FIFA. The last few FIFAs, even like really crap teams, have been able to just play like a really neat kind of short passing game. Which isn't very realistic.
That is it. Yeah, they might be slower, they might be less skillful, but actually they can pass like kings. So
no, I've been able to sort of beat like Tottenham next to City or things like that, just because
it's quite realistic, isn't it?
Well, probably. Yeah.
You notice I actually got my shot away, and was that Wazza? Was it?
It's a bit like Wazza.
It was Wazza who scored the first one, by the way. So obviously this game isn't very realistic, at least. Not at the moment.
Well, he's in a bit of a drought at the moment. Of scoring with goals.
Not playing, is he? There you go. Look, there's some neat passing there. Like I say, I think the game's a bit more physical this year as well. Seems to be a lot more people clattering into each other.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier about. I found in FIFA 10 that was all a bit clumsy, and sometimes you'd find two players going for the ball would both not end up with the ball because they kind of get into sort of tripping over each other.
Absolutely, sort of bobble it. It's just bobble out for someone else to get.
Whereas that's happening less in this. They've kind of tightened up a bit. Like I say, I haven't. It's the trouble with these games is we get them early, but we don't. We almost need to get them like 6 months in advance because it takes that long to really decide how you feel about them.
Absolutely,
you really have to play them to death.
I would say of FIFA 11 that the learning curve is probably bigger than we've been used to over recent years.
Yeah, it's asking you to do more, isn't it? It's asking you to determine the power of passes.
Absolutely, almost relearn passes. Maybe sort of things like shooting and maybe tricks aren't quite as radical as sort of previous years in terms of changes like that. You would think, he's widely offside. But I like it. I know some people in the office haven't been quite as enamoured with it.
It's always the way with any football game that the new one comes out and half the office are going to like it, half aren't. It does come partly down to preference because you when you're playing a football game, you sort of start playing in a certain style, and then they make changes to the way it works, and you might find your particular playing style doesn't work properly anymore.
So I tried a little chip.
You did.
Didn't pay off.
No.
I think probably that is part of the course.
They've always been pretty hard to pull off in FIFA games.
Having said that, last year's I think it was relatively kind of consistent in how often you'd score with one. Darren Jones, Retro Gamer editor, was chipping in our World Cup tournament
Oh really? Well, that was the World Cup game.
And
wasn't
he claimed it was. I mean, but it was Let's put it this way: he'd learnt how to do it on FIFA 10.
Right.
And he claims not to know anything about football games.
No, he plays the Ultimate Team modes because he likes card collecting games. And that makes a return in FIFA 11, but again, it's premium DLC.
You may have noticed that little trick that I don't know. Was it Via? He he basically sort of rolled off me, kind of did a little 360-degree turn.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And that's the second time he's done it in the game as well. Right. You may have noticed it earlier.
I didn't notice
that. I mean, that is. I don't know if it's perhaps an update from last year, but this is regular AI, and they're not afraid to try and bamboozle you with
bamboozle.
And they have done.
Is that an official EA brand? Oh, there we go. There's another goal from
Wazza on the floor. Again, that didn't feel like a particularly sort of difficult goal to pull off. But I think that
What difficulty are you playing?
I think this is regular. That was a finesse kick. When you hold at R1.
I never get those to go in.
Or right bumper.
Keeper always gets them. Dodgy tackle.
I do find the refs AI in FIFA is quite exceptional, really.
Generally pretty good. I think they're a bit. I haven't played this enough to say, but I'd say generally they can be quite tight on offsides. They don't understand the daylight rule, do they?
Offsides are probably I totally agree. You can basically have touching red and yellow lines, and you think, hold on, that's not quite right.
But I suppose, in reality, if we had computer referees that were able to determine exactly whether someone was offside, they'd probably do it that way. The daylight rules there, just so that the decisions clearer.
And here we go. I'm on the break again. I think I'll try another chip. That's not paying off again.
Well,
it's not his day.
2-0 up to Barcelona. You can't really complain, can you?
Absolutely, no, not at all. We did say this is a FIFA versus PES comparison. You may be wondering where PES is. In fact,
it's coming.
It's going to be in the second half as this half comes to an end. Why have I left one man out? This is dangerous.
Oh no. It's alright.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe have found this a little bit too easy. I would say I've sort of dominated.
You didn't really. Yeah, it's been a solid performance, but there hasn't really been.
There's that little turn again. How's that little turn again?
I can't. I'm missing it every time.
Right.
It's not really been an exciting contest.
There is a possibility.
No.
See, that would go in real life, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe you should have played it.
I'll put it on harder. I do play a lot of FIFA. I have to, traditionally. That's the end of the half. We're straight into PES. You may notice something about the scoreline. This is the second half of my game.
You're not so good at PES, are you?
No. No, 2-0 down to Barcelona. And they're straight into the attack from I can't remember if my kicker for. There you go.
Let's see if anyone can play a soft, short pass in this. This is what I hate most about this stupid camera angle.
Yeah, you may have noticed straight from kickoff as well.
Oh, so annoying.
You may have noticed it starts really low down to the pitch, like you're in the front row, and then it rises up. So it's trying to be kind of, I don't know, trying to get you close to the action or television.
So this camera angle is the equivalent to those old fixed camera adventure games where you go through a door and you're pushing in one direction to go through the door, and the camera angle changes, and you're now pushing in that direction, and your character's facing a different way, and all that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It just does it just messes with your head because you don't know where you're aiming anymore because the camera's changing. It's stupid. Right. You can't change it.
You may notice I just passed the ball straight out of play there, and that was because
you can't play a soft pass.
Well, that's because PES also has its own sort of new passing system, whereby you either pass crisply to feet by tapping the ball and you don't know what's going on, or you try and direct it and it never goes to the play you want it to. This is quite there's a big bugbear in my review that I did for 360 magazine. Also, when they run, they don't really feel like they're running. Watch them, they sort of run on the spot. They're on this kind of virtual invisible treadmill.
Yeah, I mean it's I'd say like the animation is actually probably better in this one than it's been for a while in PES. But I do see what you mean.
I mean, unfortunately, we are comparing it to FIFA.
Yes.
And on that basis, it feels it sort of feels predetermined to me in a lot of instances.
Right. Can you think of a positive comparison you could make?
Well, that's the second time that Barcelona's just hit the post. I would say, well, doing a written comparison as well for Nowgamer, and visually, I have to say that. I mean, this is pretty good, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
The likenesses are excellent.
When you get when you get close up, they are very good. There's another wayward cross that may have been to do with me pressing.
Yeah, and generally the graphics in this are really finely caught up, I would say, with FIFA. But the likenesses are actually probably better, although they're a bit static. They do kind of look like photos stuck on the players.
Yeah, which was always the sort of trouble going back a few years. But I mean, no, they are pretty good. And there's a lot of motion blur and replays, which make them look really sort of.
Definitely graphically much better than the last one. I'd say on a par with FIFA, sort of slightly different graphical style, but in both football games, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, tell me what you think about this. I mean, Konami sort of claim that they've sort of tweaked the back line in the AI, and that both defensive lines won't rush in to get the ball. They'll try and hold their position a bit and just kind of stay threatened. Oh, that was nice. How so was that? Was he offside? I did score. That is.
I had an offside decision on the review code of this, which was blatantly offside, and it still let me have the goal. Really? It was very blatantly offside.
That's quite interesting.
You could see it in the replay that there was actually more than one player offside, but the player that scored was definitely offside. A lot of daylight.
Do we think that a kind of human error has been scripted then? Is that
no? I think it was just a cock up. Yeah, I think. If it is deliberate, then it's a stupid thing to put in. But I just don't think it is. I think it's just. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. It's just bad.
Going back to the back line,
deliberate or not, it's just bad.
Oh, that was a pretty crappy pass again. Going back to the back line, I to be honest, I haven't found much improvement at all.
Improved over the preview code of this.
Really?
When they were staying on the goal line all the time, after corners, just staying there.
I didn't know that. I mean, we should point out that I think football games in general, preview code tends to change more than any other games.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I mean, it seems a bit odd for them to send out preview code when there are things like that in it, because it doesn't. It just kind of. If a football game's not working properly, then it's difficult to like it at all. It's difficult.
My back line was clearly doing something else.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it?
I mean, I found that when I was attacking, it sort of shut me down, and I'm running into bodies. But when I'm trying to defend, it's a bit different. Anyway, I'll stop making excuses.
I mean, one thing I found from it that I would say is a positive over FIFA is that FIFA is quite sober, and it's very solid, but it never really sparks.
You don't think?
No.
Not even when you sort of I don't know, you get into a kind of a pattern of scoring, and then the opposition scores, and then it gets tense towards the end.
I don't really find that with FIFA. It's just you sort of scoring goals in FIFA feels very systematic. It never feels like it's really come out of a bit of magic. And I did find a couple of times when I was playing this that it's just it was something about it is quite good at recreating those flair moments that FIFA sort of struggles with. FIFA is very, very clinical, very good.
Yeah, I mean, PES is now the more arcade kind of biased franchise, I'd say. Less so in this title.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of PES fans and FIFA fans will both argue that their game is the more simulated one. They don't like the arcade one. I'd say neither of them's really an arcade game. They're both simulated. I mean, for a while, early in this generation, PES felt very arcadey, whereas FIFA was more of a sim. So they're both sims. I'd just say that FIFA is a more accurate sim, but PES just has something about the real spirit of football that FIFA lacks.